will share our, let's see here. I have like 3 screens running, so it has to decide which one that I'm using. All right. Can you see the screen that says Advanced Kentucky Computer Science?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Okay. All right, Monique, I will pass it off to you.
Um, we can go back a slide to the first one.
Absolutely.
Uh, Good morning. I'm Monique Rice, and Sheri and I are going to speak to you about computer science initiatives at Advanced Kentucky and what's coming up in the future. You can go next. So I am the Senior Content Director for Math and Computer Science at Advanced Kentucky. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., where I taught math for 20 years-ish, and came to work for Advanced Kentucky when Advanced Kentucky was founded. Is that the right word? In 2008. I am the program manager for the Code.org regional partnership here in Kentucky for the state. And in general, I am the lead person for computer science initiatives at Advanced Kentucky. Sheri, you want to talk about yourself?
Sure will. I am Sheri McGuffin. I'm STEM coordinator for Advanced Kentucky. I taught advanced placement math and computer science for 22 years at Nelson County High School, just next door in just outside of Bardstown's where I live. And my husband's originally from Hardin County, so that's where a lot of our family is located. And then I am also a CS Principals Facilitator for Code.org and AP Statistics Reader for College Board and Program Manager for Kentucky's Maker-Minded STEM and Advanced Manufacturing Competition, which that's a middle school and high school competition. And so Monique and I are here today to talk to you about what's new in computer science. And we have some incredible opportunities that have just become available. And so we want to, and this is K through 12. So it's not just a middle school, high school thing. It is K through 12. So we wanted to just kind of let you know what is going on. To start off, I wanted to show you a little graphic. Oops, let me go back to it. So just a little bit of where we've come from as a state and where we're going. Okay, so you should see a computer science update on the screen in front of you. You guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so right off the bat, and this is just taken from the data from KDE, and they compiled it and put it together. We actually have a new computer science director that was just hired and took his job back in June, and that's Dr. Sean Jackson at KDE. And so he and some others have compiled this. So in the state of Kentucky, there were, if you look at there, 155 districts statewide that were offering at least one computer science course, 78 districts offering a full CTE computer science pathway, in which your district through all the high schools, from my understanding, and particularly through EC3, offer a computer science pathway. So it is one as well. And 84 districts offer an AP computer science track. So Kentucky is doing pretty well. And if you look at, then particularly, there are 9 different state level policy areas that have been defined by Code.org. And out of those 9 different policy areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Kentucky meets 6 currently. And part of this computer science initiative is pushing us up to meet all 9 as a state. So we can be one of the national leaders in computer science if we get to that level. And then if you look at this graphic, and this is based upon 2017-18 data, and they'll be adding 2019 data in as well. And you can see kind of where, where county by county that what the breakdown is for computer science. So right now, with Hardin County Schools, based upon that data, it's in the kind of the middle green level where it's offering a full CSCTE pathway. And Hardin County has actually just initiated a few other steps to bring it up to that CS track, and bringing it K through 12. Monique and I participated in a workshop back in June with both Brandy and with Leif Tab. And we'll be talking a little bit about that later and what that means for Hardin County, because it is, and there you guys are in the process of developing a full K through 12 computer science plan for the entire district. So not just school by school by school, but an actual computer science vertical alignment plan. And Brandy was very much a part of that, and got a team involved. And so some of you may be actually asked at some point to participate in that process as you go along. So just to give you a heads up that may be coming down the pipe. And so just to wrap this up, that a lot of this data, like I said, came from code.org. And at the high school level, there are two advanced placement computer science exams, or CS Principles and AP Computer Science A. And that's really like the culminating point. And so for elementary and high school, getting students prepared in critical thinking skills, problem solving is absolutely crucial. And then regardless of what you teach, it's one of those things that critical thinking and problem solving is one of those lifelong skills that is across the board. So that's the state of computer science in the state of Kentucky. So now to kind of introduce you to the comprehensive computer science plan and what opportunities are available, we've put this plan into really three different buckets: into think computer science, teach computer science, and do computer science. And so this is being developed, and it is brand new. We're flying by the seat of our pants and trying to make it all happen, and working in partnership with CS for All, which is a national organization, with Apple Swift and code.org, and Kentucky Department of Education, and some partners at KCTCS, particularly Somerset Community College. So going through the Think CS, and I alluded to this a few minutes ago, Hardin County has already gone through this process. They're one of five, let me see, one, two, three, four districts in the state of Kentucky, not five. One of only four districts in the state of Kentucky that has implemented the CS for All script workshop. And that is that district plan that I was telling you about a few minutes ago, to help develop a comprehensive individualized computer science plan for your district. So it's not prescriptive. It's not something that you have to take and make fit. It basically takes the needs that Hardin County has identified and the tools that you have, the staff that you have, the gifts that you have, and develops a computer science plan K through 12 based upon that criteria, and some research-based criteria that CS for All has developed. So like I mentioned before, that is already in place. We completed that first process in June, and then there'll be a 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month follow-up, and that is already in the works. So this is something, like I said, you are on the ground floor. So this is brand new. Hardin County is one of the very first districts in the state of Kentucky to be able to participate in this script workshop. So thank you, thank you. And like I said, Brandy may be calling on you at some point to participate in those follow-up processes. So moving on, that's the Think CS. Now going on to the Teach CS, and I will pass it over to Monique to talk about some of the opportunities for you as teachers.
Thanks, Sheri. So one of the things that we're doing is offering professional learning for teachers to be able to teach computer science courses. Most of our initiatives require you to not have a computer science background or certification or endorsement. In fact, in some of these, you'll be able to get approval to teach computer science courses. The first one we're going to talk about is the code.org partnership. So 4 years ago, Advanced Kentucky became a member of Cohort 2, the second round of code.org regional partners. And we're a statewide partner, meaning we serve the entire state of Kentucky. We provide professional development for the 3 course levels that code.org provides for the public. The code.org curriculum is freely available at code.org, their little literal website. What we provide is our tips and tricks and resources to be able to teach those courses. CS Fundamentals is a suite of coursework for grades K through 5. Just introducing us younger students to coding, starting with picture-based and non-computer uh, coding activities, working their way up to simple block-based coding. CS Discoveries is our middle school offering for grades 6 through 10. Some high schools use it as an introductory course for computer science. And CS Discoveries is practically a survey course. It talks about things like creating a website, uh, game development, and planning an app. AP Computer Science Principles is following the AP curriculum put forth with the College Board. Students will take, while we have some teachers teaching computer science principles as not as an AP course, since Advanced Kentucky is a AP organization in part, we push and encourage schools to offer CS Principles as an AP course. And as an AP course, Computer Science Principles has a unique exam where they not only do multiple choice, but instead of a written free response section, they have to complete a project that gets completed during the school year. Um, so that's the code.org thing in a nutshell. This year, we're offering our workshops virtually up until the end of 2020. Hopefully, the world gets back to a sense of normalcy in 2021, and we hope to reopen our face-to-face workshops then.
And just an FYI, I'm putting this in the chat. Hardin County does have a computer science fundamentals workshop scheduled for Monday. It's a virtual workshop, and so that's completely free. And I am putting the sign up link in the chat if you're interested in that, and you can ask more questions about it at the end of our talk.
Our next program we want to talk about is our partnership with Apple using the Swift programming language and Swift programs. This is just coming together. We'll have a bigger cohort ready to go for the 2020-2021. Oh, it's too many 20s school year. There are basically upper elementary to middle school levels, and then high school levels. The Everyone Can Code curriculum are for grades 4 and up. And Everyone Can Code students use iPads to learn the basics of coding. So the only equipment that students would need are iPads. Teachers would need iPads better to teach the Everyone Can Code curriculum. We would make sure that participants in the training have the equipment they need to complete the training. And we will be able to put you together with Apple and some other people to talk about KDE, especially to talk about how your class, if it doesn't already have Apple equipment, possibly get it. There are two different courses within Everyone Can Code. There's the puzzles and the adventures, and they don't take up a whole lot of time. So it'd be an easy add-on as a special for middle school or as activities that are put into a elementary school class. The Swift app development curriculum actually consists of 3 courses. One of them is APCS Principles, which we're already offering through code.org. So we're going to focus on the other 2, and that will be the fundamentals and data collection courses. Those courses will give students enough content to be ready to attempt the Swift professional certification. They'll still have to do a little bit more studying in preparation for the actual test, but content-wise, taking both fundamentals and the data collections course is enough to get students prepared to attempt that industry certification. So we're happy to be able to offer that certification to teachers and to students. We will be providing online professional development this year, hopefully being able to, again, to move on to face-to-face workshops in 2021-22.
And because we've got elementary and middle school teachers here at this point, let me just open it up and see if you have any questions about those two, either the code.org, Computer Science Fundamentals, Computer Science Discoveries, or the Apple Partnership. So I'll just kind of open it up to the two teachers. Do you have any questions about that just at this point?
Okay.
All right.
Nope.
Okay. We'll move on to the next teach section.
Okay, now this one is aimed at high school teachers and high school students. AP Computer Science A, we don't have a lot of high schools in Kentucky offering this course and having a lot of exam takers. We're looking to expand the number of courses and the number of students taking APCSA by providing a support system for teachers who are interested in teaching it. APCSA uses the language of Java to teach what's called object-oriented programming. We are looking for teachers who have some experience with computer science, even if it's just teaching APCSP or something else, not necessarily experience with Java, to be able to have support using an online curriculum for APCSA, an ongoing mentorship partner who's experienced APCSA teacher, and a course through KCTCS where they can learn Java essentials, an introduction to Java course that will better prepare them for teaching the course. Again, this is something that we hope will expand the number of classes of APCSA that we have throughout the state.
Okay. And then moving on to do CS, and I've got a question for you, if you don't mind putting in the chat box, the answer in the chat box. How many of you have either a 3D printer in your classroom or a 3D printer in your school? So first of all, answer that question. If you have a 3D printer in your classroom and or at your school. So you go ahead and just to do a little survey there. Okay. And so, all right, now we've got some brand new people. Now, the next question is, who would like to learn how to use the 3D printer at your in your classroom or at your school, or would like to implement 3D printing types of activities into your classes, regardless of what you teach? Okay, so that's what this next part of the initiative is really based upon. And so we call this the do part of computer science. And we're collaborating with KCTCS to provide teacher training and equipment for 3D printing curriculum and implementation. And so this is regardless of what level that you're at. So we've partnered with Somerset Community College particularly. They have an additive manufacturing lab, which is basically a fancy name for a 3D printing lab, in which they have right now currently over 40 3D printers in which they're doing all kinds of things with that. During COVID, what really happened, what's happened in a lot of, you've seen this, you've probably seen the news articles, is that a lot of factories in Kentucky that were manufacturing car parts or clothing of some kind switched over to actually making things like face shields and face masks and then gowns for hospitals. And so much of that was done, particularly with the face shields and then the respirator parts and ventilator parts. Much of that was done by 3D printing. And we actually had schools in the state of Kentucky that fired up their 3D printers and worked with places like Somerset Community College and the Additive Manufacturing Center that's at University of Louisville and Speed School there, and made those parts, made those PPE parts. And so that really just kind of highlighted how much that we need to bring 3D printing into our schools, not just to print little trinkets and Christmas tree ornaments and things like that, but actually integrated into the educational process. So the possibility here, and this is again for different teachers at different levels, is to take a course in conjunction with Somerset Community College. This could be done in the fall or in the spring. And that course, it's a digital literacy course. And with the digital literacy, the complete focus is on 3D printing and additive manufacturing, and that's what the curriculum is. It's an online course, so you can take it from anywhere in the state. And then after you take the course, the qualification for participating in this is use it in your classrooms. So use the 3D printing curriculum, use not necessarily just teaching it, but bringing that into your classrooms in different ways. Be creative. So, so we're working, like I said, to create that cohort of teachers to be able to do that. And we're hopefully going to have a fall cohort and a spring cohort of 2 different groups throughout the course of the year. And there may be some limited space. So if you're interested in that, let me or Monique know as soon as possible, because we're working on that process and getting those teachers who want to be involved in the fall course up and running as soon as possible. So that is the dual credit digital literacy. And for high school teachers, for those of you watching by video, if you're a high school teacher taking that course, if you already qualify to teach any kind of dual credit course, it will enable you to either teach or facilitate this particular course as a dual credit digital literacy course. And that fulfills many, many of the CTE pathways that, that come down the pipe from KDE. So that is the 3D printing and digital literacy initiative. So that is the Think, Teach, and Do part of our initiatives. And like I said, this just came about in June. So these are brand new. So things like code.org, we've had a partnership with for 4 years now, but the others are brand new opportunities for teachers. So Hardin County is really lucky and blessed to be able to get in on the ground floor of these opportunities, and we want to offer them to as many teachers as possible. So we just want to kind of open it up. You can ask questions in chat if you want. Take note of mine and Monique's email addresses there, and follow us both. Oh, Monique, I forgot your E on.
You forgot the E on the end of my name.
I forgot the E. I know, I did. So follow us on Twitter, or there are email addresses as well. And like I said, we're going to open up to chat if you are, if you have anything particular. See a note here. Be working with GT students, and they would love this. Absolutely. You've got all kinds of special populations of kids, whether, you know, from one end of the spectrum or the other. Computer science is for everybody. And so implementation of computer science is for everybody. You will find some of your most unique kids that don't have a niche anywhere else that will latch onto computer science and amaze you. And it never fails. It never fails. It's one of those types of areas that really, I can't describe it as, otherwise that it's just different. It's just different than any other kind of subject area, because it really is one of those that's so incredibly flexible. So, so yeah, absolutely. Your GT kids, they will love this, whether it's this 3D printing or any kind of computer science application.
Sheri, I just edited the slide, but since you're in presentation mode, you might not see it because, of course, just that last slide, so I could get the E on there. Yeah,
Hey, there it is. We got it. All right. So
Thank
again,
you. That was driving me crazy. I had to change it.
got it. So I'm going to open up to the chat, or open up your mics if you have any particular questions about any of the parts of the initiative we've talked about and how you can get involved. Or pass word on to someone else.
Yeah. yeah, while you're doing that, Sheri, I do want to mention that the code.org program, if you complete the full program for CS Discoveries and or CS Principles, definitely for CS Principles, high school teachers will receive a note is the best way to describe it. I don't want to use the word endorsement or certification because it's neither one of those, but it's an ACS, an approval to teach computer science. So if you complete our computer science principles program for code.org, you will complete the entire program. You will receive permission to teach any computer science course listed in the KDE courses, regardless of your certification. Currently, math teachers at the high school level can pretty much teach any course that is labeled computer science or computer programming. You don't need any additional anything for that. Teachers who are going to teach CS principles, if you go through a recognized College Board approved program, regardless of your certification, you are able to teach CS principles. And if you complete the one with us, you will be able to get approval to teach all computer science courses, regardless of your certification. That's not going to be alive forever because eventually they're going to put some meat on certification and endorsement for computer science. They're just reevaluating that right now, but we don't want to stop progress in the name of working out a full program. So that approval would follow the teacher until they are no longer working with Kentucky, I suppose, retire, move on, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Monique. And just as an FYI, Hardin County does have two teachers, if I remember correctly, that are part of this year's Computer Science Discoveries cohort. And so those two teachers are at Bluegrass Middle School, if I remember correctly. But
And we have had teachers go through the CSP from EC, is it EC
EC3,
square,
it's
EC3?
EC3,
Can't get the
early
numbers
college
right
career.
because I actually have more than one ECC and EC3 are two different things that I have to keep in mind, and sometimes I confuse them. So we've had a teacher at EC3, and we've had Brandy also go through the code.org training for CS principles.
And a teacher at
I
Central Hardin as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So we may or may not be, you may or may not, for those of you at other schools, I think the only one we haven't had anybody come through and is John Harden.
Yeah. But we have a computer science fundamentals workshop that is open and will be happening on Monday. And that is, so that is open, and I included that link in the chat. And then when the computer science discoveries, the middle school curriculum, that next cohort link comes open, I'm sure that you will get information from either me or Monique coming down the pipeline. But the CS fundamentals, that's open to anybody. The curriculum is primarily based through sixth grade, but it's introductory through fifth grade. But if you're looking for some introductory computer science free activities, and especially, is Hardin County going to start virtually? Or are you going to start blended? How's that going to work for you all? And you can open your microphones, or you can put it in the chat if you want to do that. Let's see. Okay, in-person and online options. So it looks like a hybrid and blended. Yeah. And so the curriculum we're talking about here with computer science fundamentals, and if you want to play around with it and check it out, and I will put the link for the curriculum so you can actually take a look at that if you want to. I'm going to put the elementary and middle school because you don't have to have gone through the training to use the activities, but it helps because it definitely gives you some implementation techniques. So this first one, the link that I'm putting in, that's the computer science fundamentals. And then the second link is going to be computer science discoveries, which is the middle school level. Yeah. So here comes the middle school curriculum link for you as well. Take it, play around with it. And like I said, if you're looking for some activities for your students that are thinking and problem solving based, then both of those can provide some different activities for you. Any other questions about any of the initiatives that either Monique or I talked about today? And like I mentioned before, if you are interested in the 3D printing class and that's something that you want to do, it is paid for. So that we're going to be, that's one of the things that is, it's provided, so it's not going to cost you anything. So that is covered by Advanced Kentucky. So if you are interested in that, shoot me a message. Or if you want to hang around and talk a little bit after we're done, then I'm more than glad to talk with you about it. Right. Any last minute questions or anything else like that? Will we get access to a 3D printer after the course? Megan, yes, that is one of the things that we're working on building into the program is providing a 3D printer for you and your school. Yeah, I know that's one of the selling points for it, in which, when we were brainstorming about this, and I was talking with the professor, and he does this for businesses. And I'm like, we need to do this for schools too. And so that is one of the things that we're building. So Megan, where can we sign up and apply for that? If you, let's see, if you put your email in the chat, and then I'll go ahead and add you to my list and just list, if you don't mind, which school that you're teaching at, if you don't mind adding that as well. And then I'll add you to my recruitment list, and then you'll be on the email list for me to send information. Thank you. All right, East Hardin Middle, I go ahead and I'll add you to my recruitment list. And if anyone else in the group is interested in that as well, I will add you to my recruitment list, and then you will get the information as soon as we get the specifics about enrollment from Somerset Community College, which should be about in the next week. Like I said, all of this stuff everything has come about within just the past few weeks. And so now that we have the funding from KDE to do it, we are putting it together as quickly as we can to give opportunities to teachers. So yeah, if anyone else is interested in that as well, I'll add you to the list. But if you don't have anything else or any questions, I'm finished for the presentation part, but I'm more than willing to hang out and answer any one-on-one questions if you have any. Thanks for participating with us today, and enjoy the rest of your summit. Hi, Megan.
Hi. I missed the link to fill out for my credit. And now it's not in the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. The link for your credit for which one?
I had the one up from 8:30 to 9:30, but I need the 9:30 to 10:30.
Okay. So here's the sign-in link. Let me go ahead and I'll recopy that for you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. No problem. All right, this is the one that Brandy had listed earlier for the sign-up link.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Have a great day.
You too. Hi, Macy. How are you?
Hey, Brandy.
I don't know if Brandy's back in or not. I know she's been floating around from room to room.
Okay, something happened with my school computer and it logged me out when I was trying. It was like when you started asking for questions, it logged me out. So I lost the sign-in code.
Okay. If you check the chat, I know that Megan had the same issue. Can you see the sign-in code? If not, I can post it again.
I cannot. All of the chats disappeared.
Okay. I will post it again for you.
Hey, Sheri, it's Brandy. I can send her an email or.
Okay. I actually just copied it and pasted it into the.
Yeah. And thank you, Sheri. That was not a huge crowd, but the ones who were here, I know them, and they were here for like the right reasons and very engaged in what you were saying. So I'm excited. Awesome. And they'll share too.
Great. Yeah, I'm hoping, particularly